The old marketplace came alive before sunrise. Vendors arranged fresh vegetables, bakers pulled warm bread from stone ovens, and shopkeepers swept dust from their doorsteps. Every morning before anyone else arrived, a quiet woman named Hannah unfolded a faded blue blanket beside the fountain and carefully displayed hand-woven baskets. Her clothes were plain, her shoes were worn, her hands were rough from years of hard work. To most people, she was invisible. Some customers walked past without looking. Others whispered unkind comments. "She'll never sell those, poor thing. She'll probably be here forever." A group of wealthy women often met at the cafe across the street. They wore expensive clothes and spoke loudly enough for everyone nearby to hear. One morning, as Hannah quietly arranged her baskets, one of them laughed. "Look at her. She still believes those handmade baskets are worth something." The others laughed too. Hannah simply smiled. She had learned long ago that silence often carried more strength than anger. Every afternoon, after selling whatever she could, she stopped by a small orphanage on the edge of town. She brought bread, fruit, or blankets, whatever she could afford. The children loved her to them. She wasn't poor, she was family. No one in the marketplace knew about those visits. Months passed, business became slower, but Hannah never complained. One rainy afternoon, a young boy slipped on the wet pavement in front of the marketplace. People watched but hesitated to help. Hannah immediately ran toward him. She wrapped him in her own coat, cleaned the scrape on his knee, and stayed beside him until his frightened mother arrived. "Thank you," the woman whispered. Hannah simply nodded. Kindness didn't need applause. A week later, the town announced that its oldest community hospital was about to close because of financial problems. Doctors feared hundreds of families would lose access to medical care. The mayor organized a fundraising gala. Business owners, politicians, and wealthy families all attended. Everyone hoped someone would donate enough money to save the hospital. Despite all the speeches, donations remained far below what was needed. The room grew quiet. The mayor sighed. "I'm afraid we may have to close the hospital." Then the master of ceremonies looked toward the entrance. "Our final guest has just arrived." The doors opened, people turned. To everyone's surprise, it was Hannah, the same woman who sold baskets in the marketplace. Whispers filled the hall. "What is she doing here? Did someone invite her by mistake?" One of the wealthy women rolled her eyes. "This should be interesting." Hannah calmly walked to the stage carrying a small leather folder. The mayor greeted her warmly. To everyone's astonishment, he shook her hand with deep respect. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced, "before tonight ends, there is something you all deserve to know." The room fell silent for the past 15 years. Nearly every major charity project in this town has been supported by one anonymous donor. People exchanged confused glances. The new library, the children's shelter, the scholarship program, the food bank, the emergency relief fund after the floods. They were all made possible by the same person. Gasps echoed across the hall. The mayor smiled. "That person is Hannah." The audience froze. Someone dropped a glass. Another covered her mouth in disbelief. The wealthy women stared in silence. How could the basket seller possibly be one of the town's greatest benefactors? The mayor continued. 20 years ago, Hannah inherited a successful family manufacturing business. After her husband passed away unexpectedly, pictures appeared on a large screen. Factories, workshops, employees, community projects. The company now employs thousands of people across the country. The crowd couldn't believe what they were seeing. "If she's so successful," someone shouted, "why does she still sell baskets?" Hannah stepped toward the microphone. "Because these baskets remind me where I started." Her voice was calm. "My grandmother taught me to weave them when I was a little girl." She held up one basket. "Every basket I sell pays for one child's school supplies." The room became completely silent. I could have stopped years ago, but then I would have forgotten that every person deserves dignity, not because of what they own, but because of who they are. She looked around the hall. "I chose simple clothes because I wanted to know how people treat someone who appears to have nothing." Many faces turned red with embarrassment. I discovered something painful. Too many people measure human value by appearance. The wealthy women lowered their heads. Tears filled one of their eyes. "I laughed at you," she admitted after the speech. "I'm ashamed." Hannah walked toward her and gently took her hand. "We all make mistakes. What matters is what we learn." Afterward, the woman began crying. "I'm sorry, I forgive you." The audience stood and applauded, but Hannah raised her hand. "If you truly wish to honor me," she said, "don't applaud. Help someone, speak kindly. See people before you see their clothes. Then she opened the leather folder. I will donate enough money to save the hospital. The audience erupted. Doctors embraced each other. Nurses cried with relief. Parents smiled through tears. The hospital would remain open. Weeks later, the marketplace felt different. People greeted Hannah with respect. Children ran to hug her every morning. Yet nothing about her changed. She still unfolded the same faded blue blanket. She still arranged her handmade baskets one by one. She still smiled at strangers. One afternoon, a little girl asked, "Why don't you buy expensive clothes now that everyone knows you're rich?" Hannah smiled, because kindness is the most beautiful thing a person can wear. Years later, the town placed a bronze plaque beside the fountain where Hannah had always sold her baskets. It read, "Never judge a person by what they wear." The richest heart is often hidden beneath the simplest clothes. Visitors stopped to read those words every day. Many never knew Hannah's full story, but they remembered its lesson. Some secrets reveal wealth, others reveal character. Hannah's secret revealed both. But it was her compassion, not her fortune, that made her truly unforgettable.